Welcome to the Gabfest.
Hello again.
I'm Michael.
And I am Allison.
Allison, what do you think about talking about privacy?
Oh, it's just my favorite thing to talk about.
Well, I'm thinking specifically of things like places like Facebook and Google, places like that, where you get software to do interesting things with, like Blogger, which is good software. You get a lot of bells and whistles, things that you can do with that, and it's free.
Mm-hmm.
And in return,
nothing is free.
Nothing
Michael.
is free, is it? Because in return, you are giving them a license to use everything that you put up there. Same with Facebook. They don't own it. Let's be clear on that. The person who's created the stuff, whether it's words or pictures or whatever, you still own that.
Okay.
But you, by agreeing to their terms of service, you are giving them a license to use whatever you have put up there in any way that they want. Is that a good trade-off?
All right. Well, I mean, you brought up earlier, we were talking about this a little bit before we started filming, and you mentioned that or you give an example of like an artist who might post up like a new work of his or a photo of a new work of his, and then Facebook can then sell it at their leisure, and because they have the license for it, and this guy basically has given them the privilege because he, agreed to the user terms by clicking a box when he signed on or
right.
whatever he did.
Right.
So obviously in that instance, it's a double-edged sword. Okay, so if Facebook is making money off of some other person's work,
mm-hmm.
well, that's not really the right thing to do, because obviously this is how this guy makes a living. However, many people probably wouldn't be exposed to this artist without Facebook. So, it's one of those things where perhaps Facebook, making this guy, this hypothetical artist man, this big person in the media, somehow he then starts selling a lot of his other works because of it, where he wouldn't have sold anything before without it. Well, I think he'd probably say, thank God for Facebook, and one bites the dust kind of a thing. And then maybe he just won't post any of his other stuff on Facebook again, and he'll just point everybody to his website, his personal business website instead. That would be the solution. But I do think in terms of business, there's certainly pros because of just kind of the audience that can then see your stuff, and obviously there's the minuses.
Now, we were talking before we were taping, and we were talking about how this applies to music and all the musicians that are asked to play for free for exposure.
On Facebook or just in general?
Just in general, even.
Yeah.
Just in life, just at parties or whatever. And when do you start drawing that line and saying the exposure is not enough? Somebody once said exposure is what you get when you're freezing to death or something like that.
Well, that's certainly, I guess that can be true. I think in terms of the world of business and for the arts is business.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's always going to be stuff that happens where an artist's first bit of stuff maybe is,
yes, their first bit of stuff, but what if you have been doing it for a while and you're good, but you're not rich and famous?
Well, that's a lot of people, I think.
Okay. So you're good enough that you should be paid for it.
Oh, well, I definitely think people should be paid for, if they're playing, like, at events and stuff, I don't know.
Okay.
Just don't agree to do something if you're not getting paid for it. A lot of it comes down to, like, really what you agree to. So,
sure.
I think in the case of musicians and stuff, I think if a musician makes a decision that they regret one day, well, they won't make that same decision again. And that's what life is all about, right? The life of building experiences and not making the same mistake twice, if it is actually a mistake.
If it's actually a mistake. We'd love to know what you think. What do you think about the fact that whatever you write or your artwork that you put up on the internet can be used by whatever site is giving you the site for you to gain exposure. But that site can use your work in any way that they can make money. They can make money from it if they want.
I gotta say, now it's making me feel like I need to read Instagram's terms and conditions. I feel like oh God, that's.
I'm
Yeah,
not on
I'm
it,
going
but,
to.
but
Okay, like I mean, that's like a sea of photos right there
it
for
is
a lot of people.
It is a sea of photos for a lot of people, and it goes from the amateurs who probably don't care to semi-professional people who want who want to make a living from it, to people who are making a living from it.
Okay, I'm like totally, my mind right now is a flutter. All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to do that.
Okay, well, we'd like to know if your mind is a flutter.
Yes.
And please send us an email, comment, and let us know what you think about this. Bye for now.